All right, good evening, everybody. It is Saturday night, and we're closer. The storms are closer to getting to us, and I'm going to try to answer as many questions as I can and kind of just walk you through how things are looking. Timing is all kind of looking about the same as what we've been saying all week. After midnight for the most part coming in, unless a little shower or so pops out ahead. So let's do it's more kind of nowcasting since we're actually in the event. So it's not as much looking ahead with models. Well, I'll show you some of that too. But I want you to see how things are looking out there. So I'm going to take you full screen so you can see this. What's been kind of crazy over the past couple hours or so is that Alabama, sitting in a level 5, has had very few tornado warnings. Now, look, now you can see a couple of cells over there that have warnings with them, but for the longest time, there were no warnings. So to be in the highest threat level, it's pretty amazing, actually, that, knock on wood, that it is mainly just these 2 tornado warnings. Now, earlier in the day, obviously, Mississippi really just having a bad time with storms coming through there, long track tornadoes on the ground. And again, you would look at this and think, well, with a level 5, let's take off these clouds. Did they drop the 5? Talking to David over here.
Let me see the official outlook graphic.
Yeah, they did. They dropped the 5. Well, how about that? Okay. Well, that's something good. Some thumbs up on that one. So the level 5 has been dropped in Alabama. As you can see, that they've been trimming back the risk map from Mississippi on toward the east now. So now it's a level 4 for Alabama that still comes over right up next to Upson County. Now, let me take you back to the radar shot, because again, this is kind of a head scratcher for us, to be honest, because you look at that map and you think, my goodness, there should be, I'm not trying to will it to happen. We don't want it to happen, but there should be just tornado polygons all over the place out there. And there have just only been a couple here recently. What seems to be happening, I'm going to take the lightning off so you can see this. There's so much rain coming down with all this. It's almost like, I don't really know what it's saying. It's not raining itself out, but kind of occluding almost. It's like we're not seeing the big supercells out in front. It's sort of coalesced into one mass here now. And it looks like it's trying to kind of line up a little bit and also shrinking in size overall, just in the past 30 minutes or so, which kind of goes along with what the high-res model shows for tonight. It shows it really kind of thinning out. This would be a great thing if this trend continues for us tonight. So one that we're hoping for. Hey, Frank checking in. You're the man, Frank. Write that down. First time I think Frank's ever checked in on a Facebook Live. That's pretty good. Okay, so let me show you the radar that I can kind of show you some velocity on. Now, keep in mind too, all we're doing is looking at what's happening now. And I can tell you about what it was like earlier if you've been keeping up with this throughout the day today. Mississippi, places like that, with tornado warnings that had the label catastrophic, PDS, particularly dangerous situation type watches that were out there today. Just really some heavy language with these warnings. Now the ones that we're seeing are not as intense looking. And sometimes, to be honest, they're even kind of hard to pick up. There's this one that is south of Birmingham. You can kind of see it trying to twirl on through there. There have been some signatures today that have been like, wow, that's definitely a huge tornado over in Mississippi. That's not what we're seeing with these couple that are out there now. And for some reason, the scans are being very delayed. But you can see even with this one right here, you can pinpoint, this is all Alabama, by the way, if you're just joining us, this is not Georgia. You can see with this one, it's even starting to kind of wash out there as well. So, it's been a wild past few hours with just a level 5 that is now a level 4 that's been dropped down. And to see really, for the longest time, nothing but flood warnings over there. Bill Powell here too, praying. And his name really is Bill Powell. Holy cow, how do I like that in the comments? Somebody check out Bill Powell's in the chat. That's cool. Okay, so back to what's going on. Again, we do have a watch that's just been issued a minute ago. I say we, it's not technically in our area. This goes to Upson County, so just barely on the tip of Upson County. So I figure we'll see more and more of these as we go through tonight. I don't think they're going to let this whole line, even if it's weakening, go through without probably keeping watches going, especially because it's in the overnight. So technically there is a watch for Alabama crossing the state line into Georgia. So we'll see what they do with these warnings over in Alabama if these continue much longer. That one on the right really is not showing much in the way of rotation. But again, I had expected to come on at 9 o'clock tonight and just show you a big long line of red polygons. And again, anything can still change. Hopefully this is the way it's going to stay. I can't think of any sort of reasonable reason why this would all of a sudden explode over us after underperforming here for the past couple of hours in Alabama. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Let's hope it stays that way. All right, so let's go. We'll show you if you're just catching up again, it looks like the Storm Prediction Center has now dropped that level 5, so that's even good, just seeing that gone. So the 5 is off the map. It's down to a 4. That's still in the same place. It still drops off to a 3 as it hits to our area and then drops down to a 2. So if we're already seeing some weakening, and hopefully that's a trend that continues, then that's an even better sign for us later on tonight. Let's take a look at the graph model. And it kind of shows what this line is trying to do now. Almost kind of thin up a little bit here. This is around midnight. Going into around 1. Still thinking about maybe around 2 o'clock or so coming into our northwest counties. And again, there's a question, what does this look like when it comes in? I mean, the environment is still out there favorable for tornadoes. It's just the storm mode, as they call it, is not, the way this storm has evolved is not really, for whatever reason, is not really tapping into all this, which is a good thing. We start to watch this. Are these independent little cells? Are these just feeder cells, we call them, out in front, or are they actual independent supercells? But again, looking at some of the supercell index charts that I've been seeing today, the likelihood of that goes down dramatically as it comes into our area. So we'll see what it ends up looking like. I'm not saying that we're not going to have some sort of warning, but we're trending in the right direction. All right, so that's about 3 in the morning. Let's go forward to around 5, 6. Still trying to kind of move on through. It's probably going to be through the Macon, Warner Robins area by 5 or 6 in the morning, depending on if it slows up, speeds down. Slows down or speeds up, I think is the phrase I was looking for there. I had them switched around. Strike that, reverse it. There is 6 to 7, 7 to 8, leaving our southeastern counties, and farewell. It is gone in the morning. Let's take a look at the high-res tornado potential graphic. Again, it's been again, only those 2 warnings out there, and for the longest time, no warnings. Still showing the much brighter colors out there and dropping to lower, not all the way down to 0, tornado potential as it comes through. Yeah, kind of wild, that's for sure. Been a breezy day out there. You might have noticed if you've been outside, we've easily had wind gusts today. There were, what, Dave, 35? Oh, yeah. 35, maybe 40 miles per hour coming in out of the south. And we're still seeing some pretty gusty winds out there. This is all just ahead of the main system before it gets in. So again, if you're just jumping in and joining us, this is a wait and see as we go on through tonight, but trending in the right direction, that the storms that are in Alabama, in that really rich environment for tornadoes to thrive, for the time being, only producing a couple of tornado warnings, and even those are kind of almost at times hard to pick up the rotation even in that. So hopefully this is a sign of how this will play out tonight. All it takes, not being a negative Nelly, but all it would take is to get sort of an independent little rogue supercell to get out in front. If one of these could actually take off and sort of take root. There's a new tornado warning right there. That's in Alabama. Let's take a look at the velocity on that one. See, this is one of these, if it were in our area, I'd be going, I don't see it. Let's go change that. Yeah, I don't see it. Maybe there. Okay. That one's not showing up much, which is good. We don't want them to show up much. The ones earlier today in Mississippi were showing up a ton. No doubters that they were tornadoes. So again, of all these warnings, looking at the velocity map, none of them have a very good signature. So, guys, let me stand by just for a second. I'm just going to mute my microphone and go check on something. Okay, and we're back. All right, so we're still going to be with you as we go through the night tonight, obviously. We're just hoping that this is a trend that will continue as we go on through, that once again, if you're just jumping in, with the environment and with all the ingredients in play, what's going on in Alabama for the time being, for at least the last few hours, is what we call underperforming, which is a good thing. We want it to stay that way, that's for sure, as it moves closer. Now, there have been a couple extra tornado warnings here issued just since I've been talking, but again, very hard to pick out and even find the rotation in those. So, in other words, even if there are tornado warnings as it gets closer to us, they're not looking like they did back in Mississippi, that's for sure. Let's see. Just joining, Jamie says. Give me some good news, Ben. Well, Jamie, as it is right now, it is not as intense as it was looking to be. Yes, there are a couple of tornado warnings back in Alabama, and all that obviously is heading this way. We were already expecting that even if we're going gangbusters right now in Alabama, that it should start to weaken some as it moves into our area. It seems to have lost some of its edge on its own in Alabama, even in that high-risk area out there. They have a much better environment for tornadoes than we do here. And just a few hours ago, it just kind of started losing some of its steam. Now, I mean, look at the lightning strikes. I mean, this is not some garden variety thunderstorm out there. I mean, it's still making a ton of racket, that's for sure. And occasionally there's a little spin in there. But we're not seeing what they were seeing in Alabama or Mississippi heading into Alabama with some of the long track tornadoes that were on the ground for a long time. Will it be strong when it gets to our southern counties? Haley, if it stays like this, I'm encouraged, I mean, that we might be in decent shape. Again, we're obviously still going to watch this. We're not turning the lights off and walking out of the building here. But for whatever reason, for now, it's not doing a whole lot. Now, I know you see those few polygons over there, but again, just a couple of those are about to expire. Checking on them, it's even hard to find out really why there's a warning there on some of them, because you can't see much of anything with rotation. I'll go back and look at it again, see if a new scan has come in. Yeah, this is the one that was just issued a minute ago. This is Alabama, so if you're joining us, none of this is in Georgia. We're just looking to see what they have over there. Yeah, I don't get it. Don't see any rotation there, but I guess somebody must be seeing something. These two, let's see, expire. Oh, that's Central Time. That's right. It's a good thing we don't straddle two time zones like that. That'd drive me nuts. I think Columbus has that problem. Let's see, 8:30 p.m. Central for that one. The reason why we're checking on these in Alabama, just kind of trying to get a look at what they're producing over there. So, what is this going to look like when it gets to us? Let's see what it's doing over there now. And you can see clearly, there's rotation right here earlier when this warning was issued. And unlike the ones earlier today that were just no doubter, bright, rotation, strong, on the ground for a long time, some of these rotate for a couple of scans and then they're gone again. Yeah, I mean, you could make the case right in here. Maybe that's what that is, but. So, in other words, it's all good news for now, and hopefully it stays that way. So, let's see, just joining in Sumter County, you think it'd be bad for us? Still the potential for severe weather tonight. I mean, so I'm not going to say that, that it's over. I'm just saying that definitely looking at all the stuff we've been looking at all week long leading up to tonight, and really the way it did last night and the way the morning started in Mississippi, it was like, oh, here it goes. And just in the past few hours, other than these couple of tornado warnings that are on there that are really hard to find rotation in, it's being better. It's doing better. What we would hope that it would do. Let's take the lightning off so we can just kind of see the shape of all this. And you can even see it trying to almost kind of slim up here. So we'll see if this ends up becoming more of a little line. I have to wait and see. Even down here, I mean, a very rich environment for severe weather. I mean, just crazy. And the last one we saw was, what, Dave, an hour ago maybe? Severe thunderstorm warning down in Mobile Bay. That was it. Other tornado watch in North Georgia, up into Tennessee. They've had a couple of tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warning polygons to pop up. All these green ones, though, this is the dominant warning. All these green ones are all flood warnings. So anything you see in green is flood warning. These big red boxes are obviously tornado watches. So a watch is going to, that just means conditions are favorable, and they're just going to throw out a big net to cover a whole big area. And then these are the warnings. But again, a couple of these are about to drop off, and this one I can't even find the rotation in. I'll change modes here and do the velocity thing again. Again, we're just checking to see how these storms are behaving over there. What are they doing in a level 4 that was a level 5 a minute ago? And we would hope that that would definitely correlate to coming into a level 3 downgrading for us. If it's already kind of hard to find rotation in there, hopefully that is a good sign for the overnight tonight. Do not let it be said that I am proclaiming this over. That's not what I'm saying. Just trending in the right direction for the past few hours. Looking at comments here. Yeah, Wendy says it's cooler outside than 20 minutes ago. That's good. Yeah, I mean, we're also losing the heat of the day. So, I mean, a lot of the criteria, the elements that you would, kind of throw all into the pot to make a severe weather event, we already had less of that here than they have in Alabama, and then also losing the heat of the day. So it'll be interesting if it stays this way. I was telling David, said this will be like a good case study to look back on in the meteorological community if it stays going this way. Not that anybody's complaining about it. It's just, some of the why behind it would be interesting. You see anything over there in chat that I need to be looking at? Okay. All right. So, okay, when is that? That one expires 9:45 our time. That one expires 9:30 our time, so in about 8 minutes there. So I'm interested to see when these fall off the map. That goes until 9, so 10 o'clock our time. Let's see if we can find it on storm relative velocity, maybe right there. And then this one up here, I guess they're just going to let that one expire. I don't see anything in that one. Is that a new extension on this one, though? This one's been hard to find because it's been going right over the radar site, and that's tough sometimes to pick out. Looks like they just, or they've made it until 9 o'clock. I guess they added that on. So I guess the rotation's somewhere down in there, but yeah, it went right over the radar site. I guess that's where the forecast office is, because they were talking about they were going to have to take shelter in Birmingham. So that could be what that is. Never been to their office. I don't know if that's where it is. All right, just kind of looking around up in North Georgia. You can see occasionally some of these little cells that have been out in front. Some of these leaving North Georgia into Tennessee have had a little bit of a, trying to show a little rotation in there, but nothing enough to pull the trigger on those. So let's go back to the big picture. Logan, Perry, Georgia, and Henderson will be okay or not. I mean, the way it stands now, it's trending in the right direction. I can't say that, oh, that's it. You know, we're not having any warnings. So, I mean, you can see like right down here, there's a new tornado warning in southern Alabama right here. That goes until 10:15 our time. Let's see what that looks like on the radar. I don't know if I have that radar loaded though, so that may be hard to find down there. Yeah, I don't have that Mobile radar loaded. Should have loaded it earlier. Take too long now. So yeah, there are a few warnings on the board. Some of those, again, are about to drop off. So if you're just joining and going, what do you mean it's not doing much back there? I see a few warnings on there. For a couple hours, there was not much of anything. And even these warnings, again, that are being issued, they don't have the same look as the big, crazy-looking tornadoes earlier today in Mississippi, thankfully. So we hope that's something that stays that way. I mean, obviously, no tornado warning is a good tornado warning, but there are degrees of bad to worse. So let's see what that is. Looks like did they just issue a new one? Get out of there, lightning. No, they just took off part of it. So that one expires in 5 minutes too. So some of this map is going to clean up here in a minute. Only going to be left with a couple of them. So yeah, we've had some of these, if you've been outside recently, a couple little sprinkles kind of flying by. These are not supercells or anything like that developing. And that's what they've been seeing up Atlanta way, a couple of these north of Atlanta flying up. And you'll look at them for a minute and say, I wonder if these are about to start turning into something out here in front of everything, you know, these little renegade cells, but so far they have not. Okay, guys, here's what we're going to do. Try to save my strength in case we end up having to be on the air all night. We'll call this one off for here, and I'm going to come back. Our 11 o'clock news is going to be a little bit late because of basketball. So I'm going to come on here at 11 o'clock since that's a normal news time, and we'll do the same thing all over again. So hopefully it'll still be great news. You know, anything that is not a tornado outbreak is great news. I mean, we still could have a couple of warnings, you know, as we go through the overnight tonight. And definitely making some racket with some lightning, thunder, and gusty winds. But if it's not the full-blown tornado outbreak that it was looking like it was going to be, we're going to call this a victory. And there's one right there. You can see they just changed that to a severe thunderstorm warning. They replaced that tornado warning that's about to drop here with a severe thunderstorm warning. So a couple of these are about to fall off the map. So anyway, it's trending in the right direction for us. Hopefully it stays that way. No guarantee that it will, but we're hoping that it will. And I'll be back a little bit later unless there's some reason to come on before that. See ya.